Meghan Markle destroys Joy Behar on The View. The confrontation that caused an earthquake. Oh, Joy, you do love a ready-made headline, don't you? Meghan Markle's voice dripped with velvet sarcasm. She perched upright in the sleek white guest chair of The View, one ankle gracefully over the other, cream suit flawless under studio lights. A low ripple of "ooh" rolled across the daytime crowd. Joy Behar, veteran host, quick with both punchline and probe, arched an eyebrow, amused. "Only if the headlines earned, Duchess," Joy quipped, stressing the past title. "So let's earn it. Tell us why the world needs another lifestyle label." Meghan flashed a practiced smile, half crescent, half warning. "Because authenticity is a luxury most people can't afford," she said. "I'm democratizing it." Joy rested her elbows on the round glass table. "Lovely slogan, but democratizing usually means cheaper. Your starter candle is priced higher than my winter heating bill." Laughter. Meghan's eyes narrowed a millimeter. "With respect, Joy, the Candle Fund's female founders' grants. It lights more than rooms. It lights futures." Sunny Hostin and Sarah Haynes exchanged quick side glances. Alyssa Farah Griffin straightened her notes. The red on-air sign glowed steady. Cameras whirred. Joy leaned forward, voice soft. "That's wonderful. Yet staffers from your Sussex office claim they were burned out, not illuminated." The temperature dropped. Meghan inhaled through her nose, slow, composed. "Burnout exists everywhere," she replied, "especially when employees are asked to outgrow their own limiting beliefs." A polite phrase, delivered like a dart. Joy chuckled, hands up. "I'm merely quoting their exit interviews." The studio's hush thickened. Viewers at home could almost hear producers in the control booth debating a commercial break. Meghan straightened her lapel. "Joy, I'm here in good faith to discuss impact, not to relitigate gossip fanned by tabloids hungry for clicks." Joy's tone cooled 1 degree. Gossip becomes news when multiple voices repeat the same verse. "Are all of them wrong?" Meghan's answer came crisp. "If you replay a false note often enough, it still isn't music." A beat of silence. Even the jib operator paused mid-swing. Joy exhaled. "All right, let's pivot. You often speak of being silenced, yet you're on Oprah, Spotify, Netflix, and now ABC. Explain that contradiction." Meghan's smile returned, a blade in sunshine. "I was never silent, Joy. I was muted by protocol and prejudice." "There's a difference." She tapped her microphone lightly. "This clip right now will reach millions who've never heard my own words unfiltered." "Unfiltered?" Joy repeated, grin spreading. "Your team sent a 40-item areas of focus memo. That's a pretty impressive filter." Gasps and muffled laughs. Meghan's nostrils flared. "Boundaries are healthy," she said, tone porcelain thin. "Women who set them are often branded difficult. Funny how that works." Joy nodded. "Maybe. Or maybe boundaries become barricades when they block accountability." The phrase hung like smoke. Meghan opened her mouth, then shut it, calculating. Light bounced off her diamond ear studs, throwing tiny flares onto the desk. Behind the cameras, the showrunner counted silent beats on her fingers. 1, 2, 3. Meghan leaned in, voice barely above a whisper, yet picked up clear by the boom. "You want a soundbite, Joy? Here it is. I refuse to apologize for refusing to shrink." Joy's eyes twinkled, sensing the viral clip forming in real time. "No one's asking you to shrink," she said. "We're asking you to answer." The tension crackled, electric and thrilling, the kind that makes live television feel dangerous. Sunny cleared her throat, trying to mediate. "Let's explore the philanthropy angle." But Joy raised a hand, never breaking eye contact with Meghan. "One more follow-up," she insisted. "Did any staff member quit because of what sources call your management by micromanagement?" Meghan sucked in air. The studio lights seemed hotter, the set suddenly too small. She offered a tight smile that didn't reach her eyes. Joy, if people left, perhaps the mission outgrew them. Joy let the audience absorb that. Murmurs swelled. A middle-row guest shook her head slowly. Another lifted a phone, already recording. Meghan pivoted to the crowd, palms up. Every movement that ever mattered was uncomfortable at first. Applause erupted. But was it for her courage or the spectacle? No one could tell. Joy sat back, satisfied for now. "Well," she said, "uncomfortable makes good TV." The stage manager flashed a cue card, 30 seconds to break. Meghan's gaze locked onto Joy, challenge accepted. Joy answered with a half smile, ready for round 2. The red light blinked. Commercials were coming, but the real fireworks had only begun. The countdown clock hit 0, cameras snapped back on. Joy Behar faced the lens, smile taut. "Welcome back," she said. "If you're just joining us, Meghan Markle is here explaining why authenticity costs $85 a wick." Ripples of laughter. Meghan's lips twitched. "Joy, I find it curious that the price of a candle angers you more than the price of inequality." Joy leaned in. "Inequality is priceless, so let's stick to numbers. Multiple aides say you reduced them to tears. How many apologies have you issued?" Meghan clasped her hands. "I prefer corrective action to performative sorry nots. We funded mental health stipends after reviewing workloads." Sarah Haynes jumped in, tone gentle. "That sounds progressive. Yet one aide told the Times they left because they felt erased." "What does erased mean to you?" Meghan inhaled slowly. "When people resist new standards, they call it erasure. I call it evolution." Alyssa Farah Griffin, former White House communicator, raised an eyebrow. "Evolution still leaves fossils, paper trails, emails. Did any HR report cite bullying?" Meghan's gaze flicked sideways. "Internal reviews are confidential," Joy pounced. Translation: "Yes, but sealed," the audience murmured. Meghan's shoulders squared. Or translation: "I respect legal agreements," Sonny Hostin pivoted. "Let's broaden the lens. You've said monarchy and media share a symbiotic toxicity. ABC is media. Are we toxic right now?" Meghan's answer glided out. "Toxicity is about intention. If intention is truth, we're fine. If intention is spectacle, you tell me." She looked straight at Joy. Joy held the stare. "My intention is clarity. Viewers like receipts. For instance, Spotify terminated your podcast deal. Was that mutual?" Meghan's fingers drummed once on the table, soft but audible. "We decided our values needed a platform willing to stretch." "So no," Joy summarized. Meghan ignored the jab. "We're exploring independent distribution. Freedom is fertile soil," Joy barked a laugh. "Freedom's nice, so are deadlines." The crowd chuckled. Tension bounced like a live wire. Camera 2 zoomed to Meghan's face. Impeccable makeup, eyes shimmering with controlled heat. Joy shifted gears. "In Time magazine you said, women shouldn't be forced to choose between silence and survival." "Who forced you?" Meghan leaned back. "Centuries of institutions built to exclude. The palace was merely the last straw." A hush. Even seasoned New York viewers felt a tingle of monarchy gossip. Joy clasped her coffee mug but didn't drink. "You entered that palace voluntarily, in a Givenchy gown. Regret?" Meghan's smile was thin ice. "Regret is wasted energy. I repurpose pain into progress." Alyssa interjected. "Progress for whom?" "Some Britons felt you monetized their crown, then dismissed their culture." "That narrative ignores my charitable footprint," Meghan replied, voice velvet over steel. "I raised millions for Grenfell survivors and vaccine equity." Joy nodded. "Commendable. Yet critics say you mention generosity only when cornered." Meghan's hands unfurled slowly, palms up. "When women assert worth, it's called self-promotion. When men do, it's called a resume." A smattering of applause. Joy let it roll, then spoke. "Speaking of resumes, staffers from your Suits era allege you were exactitude on stilettos. Did fame change you, or did the real you finally surface?" Iris's darkening, Meghan answered. Excellence is often mislabeled intimidation. Joy's head tilted. Maybe. Or maybe kindness scales with power. Same as scrutiny. The audience buzzed. Sarah tried soothing. Let's talk motherhood. Your new brand donates diapers to low-income families. Beautiful initiative. How hands-on are you? Meghan brightened a shade. I review every partner personally. My son packs boxes with me. Values start at eye level. Joy jumped again. Yet palace staff claim you rarely thank nannies. True? Meghan's tone flattened. I thank people with fair wages, not flattery. A collective woe rippled through rows of retirees and tourists. Joy slid her pen across her notes, marking an X. Strong statement, but gratitude is free. Meghan folded her arms. So is empathy, Joy. The control booth debated another break. Ratings were spiking, but the line between journalism and jousting blurred by the second. Alyssa asked, Do you consider yourself post-royal or anti-royal? Meghan thought. I am extra-royal, beyond archaic blueprints. Joy smirked. Sounds like anti with better branding. Meghan turned fully toward her. Is every critique I make an attack, or does the crown simply bruise easily? Joy replied, Glass houses, Duchess. Your brand is your crown now. Can it survive a stone? For the first time, Meghan's voice trembled. My crown is purpose, not privilege. Joy softened a hair. Purpose withstands heat. Let's test. Will you ever publish the palace emails you hinted at? Meghan exhaled. I safeguard correspondence to protect others, even those who harmed me. Convenient, Joy murmured, but let it slide. Sunny pivoted to mental health. You've spoken of suicidal thoughts. Thank you for that candor. Where are you emotionally today? Meghan's jaw unclenched. I have safe harbor now. Therapy, meditation, a community of women who hold truth. The room warmed. Audience members nodded, moved, but Joy circled back, relentless. Therapy's good. Accountability's better. Can you name one personal flaw you're still working on? Meghan blinked. Cameras caught the micro pause. Sometimes I overextend empathy to those who weaponize it. Joy's grin flashed. A flaw that flatters. Got a humbler one? Meghan's patience slid. Joy, are we here for growth or gotcha? Joy answered calmly. Sometimes growth sprouts from a gotcha, a beat. Meghan's nostrils flared again. Sarah signaled the floor manager for water. A stagehand delivered 2 bottles. Meghan accepted, unscrewed, sipped, composure returning. Joy pressed on. Quick fire. Favorite British tabloid? None. Meghan shot back. Favorite royal? Meghan hesitated. The late Queen modeled resilience. Prince Harry aside, which in-law still texts you? Meghan's smile iced over. Private family matters remain private. Joy shrugged. Worth a try. Laughter bled tension, but only briefly. Then Joy changed everything. She produced a single-folded letter, slid it across the table. We verified this resignation note from a senior advisor of yours. It says, I endured veiled threats. Care to clarify? Meghan's eyes hardened. Ethically, you should blur names. Joy tapped the envelope. We did, but the claim stands. Sarah whispered, maybe legal should vet. Joy waved her quiet. Meghan, the Duchess, former though titles linger, straightened. Veiled threats? No. Clear feedback? Yes. Describe clear, Joy insisted. Deliverables, timelines, accountability, Meghan listed. If those feel threatening, perhaps the problem is competence. Gasps. Even Sunny winced. Joy nodded slowly, absorbing the grenade. So everyone who complained lacked competence? I said perhaps, Meghan corrected, voice silky. Joy closed the folder. Viewers will decide. The set seemed to shrink. Lights hissed faintly. The studio air was thick with unsaid things, every audience member sensing they were watching a precipice form. Alyssa ventured, Can we zoom out to solutions? What systemic change do you propose for workplace wellness? Meghan answered measuredly. transparent pay scales, trauma-informed leadership, and a zero-tolerance line for microaggressions, reported anonymously, resolved publicly. Sunny applauded lightly. Some audience members joined. Joy let them clap, then murmured, "All noble, but leadership starts at home." Meghan's head tilted. "Home is healthy, thank you." Joy's reply was gentle, almost maternal. "Then show us. Release the report. Clean your side of the street so critics lose ammunition." Meghan stiffened. "I owe the public impact, not my inbox." Joy sat back, hands up. Lines drawn. A red light blinked. Another break approached, but Joy ignored the rap signal. One last strike. "Meghan, do you think people dislike you because you're a woman of color or because you sometimes sound like a CEO who forgot the factory floor?" The question sliced. Silence flooded the studio. Even air conditioning seemed to pause. Meghan blinked twice. When she spoke, her voice was low thunder. "Why not both? Prejudice magnifies flaws until they eclipse virtues." Joy absorbed that. "Fair, now flip it. Does the spotlight magnify virtues until you can't see your own flaws?" Meghan's throat tightened. Cameras zoomed close. Viewers could count every eyelash. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Instead, she stood, calm, deliberate. The audience tensed, remembering viral clips of guests storming out. But Meghan didn't storm, she glided. Joy tracked her, uncertain. "We're not done." Meghan placed both palms on the glass table, leaned in. Every host froze. "Joy," she said, voice satin but unyielding. "You pursue transparency while hiding behind punchlines. You ask for my receipts. I ask for your intention. If this is journalism, let's journal equally. Read your own staff turnover rates aloud." Gasps again, this time directed at Joy. Joy's cheeks colored, but she stayed seated. "Fair play. Our turnover's public record." She looked to a producer off camera and shrugged. Meghan straightened. "Then let's scroll it after the break. Equal daylight." Joy exhaled. "Deal." The stage manager slashed a finger across his throat. "Cut now." Joy finally yielded. "We'll be back," she told the camera, voice half breathless. Theme music rose, lights dimmed. In the control room, producers cheered and panicked in the same breath. Ratings were gold, but the interview teetered on mutiny. On set, Joy sipped water, thinking. Meghan stood beside her chair, eyes closed, steadying breath, a statue of poise and fury. Sarah whispered, "Everything okay?" Meghan's eyelids lifted. "Perfect. Growth is messy." The crew prepped for the next segment, but everyone knew the conversation could detonate or dissolve, and the choice sat between two formidable women facing each other across a glossy table. 30 seconds to airtime. Fingers hovered over faders, hearts thumped under headsets. When they returned, nothing would be the same on daytime TV. The theme sting faded. Red lights lit. Joy Behar inhaled once, steady. "We're back," she said, voice velvet over granite. "Before the break, Meghan Markle invited us to shine equal daylight on workplace culture, hers and ours." A monitor behind them now displayed two simple columns, Sussex Global, The View. Each listed turnover percentages, pulled moments earlier by a breathless intern. Meghan stayed on her feet. "Transparency served," she murmured. Joy gestured to the numbers. 32% turnover at Meghan's venture, 29% for the talk show. "Close race," Joy noted. "What do we learn?" Meghan met the camera. "High turnover tracks high ambition. Startups shed skin fast," Joy countered. "Or leaders push hard." Meghan smiled, razor thin. "Pressure reveals diamonds. Or dust. I prefer diamonds." A flicker of admiration crossed Joy's face. Then she pivoted. "Let's open the phone lines." Producers frowned. Live calls were chaos, but ratings ruled. A hotline graphic flashed. Caller 1, Staten Island. A raspy male voice. "Meghan, my wife cried when you spoke to Oprah, but she also wonders why you keep circling your trauma for profit." Silence held a beat. Meghan answered calmly. Healing stories heal others. When survivors speak, stigma breaks, Joy nodded. Yet profit still rolls in. Meghan didn't blink. Purpose without resources is poetry without paper. Caller 2, Atlanta. A woman. Joy, you're grilling Meghan harder than some politicians. Would you treat a man the same? Applause scattered. Joy shrugged. Ask the senators who've sat here. Meghan folded her arms, half-smile. Sisterhood checks power, not just patriarchy. Joy's eyes flicked to the clock. 8 minutes left in segment. Time to escalate. She reached under the desk, produced a small binder. We verified exit interviews from your charity kitchen project. Several volunteers said you commandeered credit. Reaction? Meghan's jaw set. Leadership spotlights many hands. Media zooms on one face. Joy opened a page, reading. She always arrived with photographers. Meghan leaned forward. Visibility funds causes. Cameras are catalysts. Joy pressed. But do they center you or the cause? Why not both? Meghan shot back. A mic can amplify message and messenger, Sarah Haynes interjected, gentle. Maybe impact metrics help. How many kitchens rebuilt? Meghan answered instantly. 12 fully outfitted, 3 more in progress. Joy nodded, impressed yet undeterred. Numbers are good, yet hearts harden when humility slips. Meghan softened a fraction. Humility isn't invisibility, Joy. The tension eased, then flared again as Alyssa read a fresh alert. Buckingham Palace declines comment, but stands by staff accounts. The studio tensed. Joy seized the moment. Would you sit with palace aides in a mediated forum? Meghan paused. That tiny pause roared louder than any answer. Finally, if honesty, not headlines, guided the forum, yes. Joy's grin spread. That's a yes, folks. Audience erupted. Producers signaled thumbs up. The clip would fly across newsrooms before credits rolled, but Meghan wasn't done. She placed both palms on the glass again. Joy, equal daylight cuts both ways. Will you release this show's pay equity stats? Joy blinked. Network lawyers, Meghan raised a brow. Ah, transparency meets ceiling. Joy exhaled, conceding the hit. Point taken. She turned to camera. ABC, consider this your on-air nudge. Applause thundered. The moment felt historic. 2 women, sparring yet forcing bigger rooms to answer. Sunny Hostin, smiling, steered toward resolution. We've uncorked many truths. Final rapid fire, Meghan. 1 hope, 1 regret. Meghan closed her eyes, spoke soft. Hope, that little girls watching learn boundary setting early. Regret, that I ever believed silence kept me safe. Joy's face softened. That's relatable. The floor manager flashed rap. Joy addressed viewers. Conversations sting, but sunlight disinfects. Thanks to Meghan Markle for staying in the heat. Meghan inclined her head, half bow. Thanks for turning up the wattage. Theme music swelled. Cameras pulled wide, 2 strong figures, both still standing. The feed cut to commercial, but backstage doors were already opening for what promised to be an even fiercer debrief. The second the off-air light winked, studio calm shattered. Crews scurried, cables hissed, and cell phones chimed like cicadas, Twitter already ablaze with Dag Joyvi's Meghan. Meghan stepped off the dais, stilettos clicking a martial rhythm down the narrow corridor that led to the green room. Her public relations chief trotted beside her, iPad raised. We're trending in 43 countries. Split sentiment, 48 positive, 42 negative, 10 undecided. Meghan barely nodded. Cue gratitude posts and flag racist sludge fast. Meanwhile, Joy Behar remained on set, earpiece buzzing. The executive producer's voice crackled. Great TV, but standards and practices need a cooling segment. HR's asking if we blindsided a guest. Joy snorted. We offered water and oxygen. That's hospitality. Still, she felt a tremor of doubt. Had her cross-exam crossed a line? She grabbed a notepad, scribbled questions she never asked. Childhood mentors, favorite failure, softballs left unused, now crumbs on the cutting room floor. Green room. A stylist fussed over Meghan's lapel, but Meghan waved her off. She paced instead. On the wall, a muted monitor replayed the confrontation in real time, closed caption lag trailing her facial tics by half a beat. She studied herself as if critiquing an actress. Sharper posture at 14:02, she murmured, but the eyebrow at 17:10, too arch. Her comms chief cleared his throat. BBC requests a sat truck hit in 20. Do we bite? Only if Joy joins, Meghan replied, surprising him. I'm not a meme. They get a dialogue or nothing. Control room producers huddled around analytics. Minute-by-minute ratings looked like a cardiac chart. A junior editor pointed, peak spike when Meghan challenged payroll transparency. The showrunner pinched the bridge of his nose. Legal is drafting a statement as we speak. Joy's dressing room. Joy finally peeled off her blazer, sweat spotting the silk liner. She unlocked her phone. Texts exploded. Some hailed her bravery. Others accused her of ambushing another black woman speaking truth. Old stand-up friends sent flame emojis. Her rabbi simply texted, Micah 6:8. Walk humbly. She sighed, typing a single reply. Still walking? A soft knock. Sarah Haynes poked in. Security says paparazzi blanket 66th Street. They're fighting for curb space. Joy massaged her temples. Tell security to hold them. I need 5 minutes with Meghan. Hallway collision. 5 minutes later, Joy and Meghan converged outside the makeup bay. Two generals after battle. For a breath, neither spoke. The hallway smelled of hairspray and high voltage. Joy went first. Hell of a segment. Meghan folded her arms. Which headline did you love most, the candle price or the competence diss? Joy's laugh was tired but real. Both burn equally hot. She sobered. Look, if any question cut too deep, I own it. Meghan studied her, weighing sincerity. Sharp questions don't scare me, only cheap motives. Joy nodded. Then invitation. Tomorrow we tape an extended podcast, uncut, no edits, my team and yours. A pause. Meghan's phone pinged again. She silenced it, met Joy's gaze. One condition. Joint statement on pay equity. We push ABC and Sussex Global to publish numbers within 30 days. Joy's eyes flashed. Challenge accepted. Handshake sealed, cameras nowhere in sight. Down the corridor, a stagehand whispered to another, Did they just call a truce or load new ammo? Neither woman answered. They were already striding in opposite directions, prepping for round 2, this time maybe on the same side of the ring. Dawn cracked over Manhattan like a flashbulb. Headlines screeched from every push notification. Joy and Meghan detonate daytime TV. Network vans idled outside ABC. Sidewalk pundits jabbered into webcams. Inside the broadcast center, a war room meeting convened. Lawyers, PR chiefs, 2 sweating VPs. A giant screen looped Meghan's demand for pay transparency. The head of Standard sighed, We either publish or look like cowards. Finance muttered about Q3 bonuses. HR warned of union chatter. The president finally growled, Fine, start the audit, spin it as pioneering. Across town, Sussex Global's loft pulsed with caffeine. Meghan, hair in a low braid, skimmed overnight analytics. Hashtags split like tectonic plates. Kark stand with Meg versus Joy for the win. More interesting were the new tags, Pay Up ABC and Kark Sussex Transparency, trending in tandem. Momentum, she told her comms lead. Let's surf, not steer. At 10 a.m. sharp, both camps converged in Studio G, the network's podcast bunker. Low ceilings, foam panels, 2 cardioid mics facing a round table. Switzerland on linoleum. Joy arrived first, toting a dog-eared notebook. Meghan slipped in moments later, no entourage, only a stainless steel water bottle. An engineer adjusted levels. Red rec light winked. Joy opened soft. Listeners, yesterday's show was, well, volcanic. Today we cool the lava and map the landscape. Meghan matched the tone. Truth needs both heat and light. Let's add light. They started with numbers. Joy read ABC's median gender pay gap, 12%. Meghan countered with Sussex Global's, 7%, but shrinking. They dissected contributory factors, maternity cliffs, leadership pipelines, unconscious bias in bonus pools. Listeners could almost see spreadsheets between sentences. Next came accountability. Joy admitted times she'd coasted on seniority perks. Meghan conceded she'd driven teams at Formula One speed without pit stops. The candor felt disarming, almost delicate. Mid-record, the engineer slid a note, 20,000 live listeners on the raw feed, a platform record. Joy lifted an eyebrow. Meghan smiled. Momentum confirmed. They pivoted to solutions. Real-time salary dashboards, rotating mentorships, anonymous escalation lines that actually escalate. Joy pledged to press ABC's board. Meghan promised to open source her foundation's HR templates. Finally, Joy asked, "What did you learn about yourself in that on-air crossfire?" Meghan inhaled. "That poise without listening is armor, not dialogue." Joy nodded. "And I learned a joke can be a shield and a shiv at once." An hour vanished. They closed with a joint vow: publish progress in 30 days, invite union reps and junior staff to the next mic. Red light clicked off. Silence. Then a shared breath. Not quite friends, but fellows in an uneasy crusade. Outside, reporters surged. Joy and Meghan emerged shoulder to shoulder. Cameras flashed. Joy quipped, "Relax, we left the boxing gloves inside." Meghan added, "And brought spreadsheets instead." By noon, the episode hit every podcast app. Streams spiked so hard the hosting server throttled. Comment feeds filled with surprise and, oddly, hope. One user wrote, "Turns out grown-ups can argue, learn, then actually fix stuff. More of this, please." In offices from Burbank to Brussels, executives felt a new pressure. Daylight at the speed of Wi-Fi. The reckoning had only just begun. 30 days raced by. Calendar reminders pinged like Morse code across two empires, ABC and Sussex Global. On the final morning, both websites flipped from under review to live pay equity report. Viewers clicked. Spreadsheets scrolled. Color-coded bars compared salary bands by gender and race. ABC had trimmed its gap from 12% to 9.8%. Sussex Global, smaller but nimbler, now sat at 5.1%. Each cell linked to an action plan. Mentorship quotas, blind review promotions, quarterly audits. No glossy infographics, just raw CSV files. Daylight in its purest form. Social feeds exploded. Part praise, part forensic scrutiny. Data journalists dove deep, while cynics hunted for holes. But the numbers were real. External auditors had signed off at midnight. At 4 p.m., ABC aired a prime-time special, The Daylight Debate, 1 month later. The set was stripped down. No coffee mugs, no applause signs. A single acrylic table, 2 microphones, 1 shared chair apiece. Joy Behar entered first, crisp navy suit, reading glasses dangling from a chain. Meghan Markle followed, charcoal-sheathed dress, laptop under arm. Joy opened. 30 days ago, we threw down a gauntlet. Tonight, we show the bruises and the gains. Meghan slid a memory stick across the table. These are duplicate files, so whistleblowers can verify hashtags. Transparency survives only if receipts travel. A ticker at the bottom of the screen displayed live QR codes to both reports. Viewers scanned in real time. They invited guests, a union shop steward, a junior producer, a Sussex Global accountant, and a labor economist from MIT. The steward confirmed overtime pay had increased. The producer said a new Slack channel let assistants flag grievances directly to VPs. The accountant admitted some middle managers grumbled but conceded the sun is brightest at noon. The economist called the experiment a case study destined for syllabus status. Joy then aired critic clips, voices claiming stunt, vanity, brand rehab. She didn't flinch. "Fair critique," she said. "But stunt or not, money moved." Meghan responded, "Motives can be mixed, outcomes must be measured. We moved the needle, now we weld it in place." They fielded live questions. "Will you audit again next year?" Both answered yes, on the anniversary, with third-party validators. What about racial gaps? Meghan disclosed Sussex Global's 3% disparity, promised 0 by Q4. Joy revealed ABC's 7% and a new task force charter. The Economist closed with a challenge. Sustainability means policy, not personality. Tie exec bonuses to equity metrics. Joy turned to the camera. "Network board, balls in your court." A soft hush followed, a collective inhale of possibility. Then Joy extended her hand. Meghan took it. No grand hug, just firm grip, 2 nods. The camera pulled wide, studio lights faded to a gentle amber. A graphic floated up. "Daylight returns same time next year." Outside, night settled over New York, but street-level screens replayed the handshake on loop. In offices and group chats, employees everywhere asked the same question. If they can crack open the vault, why not us? The ripple had become a tide. And for once, prime-time drama left something behind besides memes, a measurable shift in how paychecks and power would be tallied long after the credits rolled.